Hey Aries, welcome back. Don't forget to click that like button, guys. Don't forget to, hit that hype button. Y'all know the drill. It helps the channel grow. Aries, I'm hearing that somebody around you is targeting you. Okay. The reason why this person wants to target you, they want to get other people involved, they're trying to do all this stuff, and they're just like, ooh, they're envious. They're just envious of everything about you. Why? Well, I'm going to tell you why. It's because I'm hearing that you are very quiet. Okay, like you could be an observer. You walk in a room, you don't make noise. You kind of sit in the corner, you watch everybody, you observe everybody. You more likely know what's going to happen next. Like you see the path that things are turning into. You're the kind of person who could sit down and watch a movie and have a really good idea of what's going to happen in this movie. Just within the first, few minutes of the movie, it happens, right? Because you're very observant. You're quiet. You're a deep thinker. Okay? The thing about that is that some people, they feel intimidated by that. They don't like it. This person doesn't understand why is it that you're not like trying to kiss their butt? Why is it that you're not trying to get close to them? Why is it that you're not trying to talk to them? Why is it that you're not coming into their space? Everybody else is coming into their space. Why aren't you coming into their space? Why are you sitting over there deep in thought? Why are you over there staying quiet? Why are you over there not sharing? Going to them and sharing what you got going on in your life, telling them your plans. Why aren't you telling them your plans? Why aren't you speaking up? Why? And the more this person's there sitting there like, why? They're like, oh, well, Aries has to be hiding something. Oh, Aries has to be up to something. Why is Aries being so quiet? Aries is doing something. They're up to no good. I just know it. This is what they're telling people. Oh yeah, Aries is up to no good. You know it. I know it. They're getting their money somehow. Yeah. I'm hearing stories about Aries. This is what they're saying. Aries has been very suspicious. People are suspicious. Even the neighbors are suspicious. What Aries has got going on. I hear it. And they're saying things like, "Oh, I'm hearing Aries hasn't left the house in 3 days." Did they lose their job? Do they have a job? Does anybody know what's going on with Aries? you know? That's what this person's trying to do. They're like, hey, they're trying to get information, and everybody's like, I don't know. I don't know what Aries is up to. I don't know. I don't know what Aries is doing. But the thing about this, Aries, I want you to know the thing about this is that when you do decide to speak up, when you do decide to, get out there and start talking to people, people listen. I'm hearing people stop talking and they want to hear what you have to say. Ooh, this person. Ooh, let me tell you. They see that. They see that when they're talking, everybody else continues talking around them. Nobody's paying attention to them unless they go up into that person's space and they get in their person's face and they're like, hey, what is all this? What is going on here? Let me tell you what I got going on. This is what I've been doing. Look. You know, they see the difference. They see the difference of how people react when you speak and when they speak. I'm hearing like, yeah, maybe when you first start talking, people continue talking, but then they realize, oh, you're speaking, and then the room starts getting quieter and quieter, and people start lowering their voice, and they start wanting to hear what you got to say. They notice the difference between you and them. And that bridge between you and them is bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're noticing it more and more and more, where you stand and where they stand. And all of this is happening just because you value your peace, just because you're a deep thinker, just because you're very observant. That's it. Just because you're not going to share every little detail of your plans and every little thing that you do, just because this person's jealousy, that envy is festering inside this person because they see the difference. They see the respect that you receive. They see how people treat you differently. They see how people want to like invite you in. People are open to you coming to them. People are open to, conversing with you. People are not open to this person. If this person comes into their, immediate space, okay, then they will tolerate them. There's a difference. It's a huge difference. There's a difference in the energy of the person, right? There's a difference that energy that people give off when you come around. And I'm hearing you don't even notice it. I'm hearing that you are so down to earth that you don't even realize the difference of how people talk to you and speak to you. And I'm gonna say it, for some of you, I'm hearing that you're an empath. And this is another reason why, you stay distant, because you pick up on negative energy really quickly and it really affects you. So why do you want to put yourself out there? Yes, you might show up to the party, but you don't want to be around negative energy. You don't want to be in the middle of an argument. You don't crave that kind of attention. You don't want to be in the middle of somebody's disputes. You don't want to be in the middle of all that. Well, it seems funny when people are having problems. I'm hearing you're the first person that people come to ask for advice. People want to hear your advice when they're having trouble with their kids, when they're having problems. They want to, they want to run by you, run it through you, see what you say, see what you got to think about, So what I'm hearing is that when people want to talk to you, they want to talk to you with some depth, They want to speak to you and talk to you, about really deep things, because they instinctively know that you're a deep thinker. This person, they don't get that. People are not running anything through them. This person is just over there. Oh, let me give you my opinion. Oh, I heard you got a problem. Oh, let me tell you what you should do. Nobody's asking them their opinion. Nobody wants to hear their opinion. Nobody's chasing them to get their advice, And they see the difference. They see the difference. They see how people treat them and how people treat you. And that bridge is growing and this anger is festering, and they're trying to find other people who are around y'all. Other people this could be your work environment, it could be at church, it could be your family. This person is looking for other people who, this annoys them just as much as it annoys them. You see? They're trying to find other people who notice this difference. And be like, so they could talk about you. See, because they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to vent to. Because they're upset. They're not going to say it. Hey, I notice y'all are respecting Aries more than y'all respect me. They're not going to say that. They're not going to say, hey, why is it when Aries comes around, y'all want to hear what Aries has to say, but nobody wants to hear what I got to say. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Why? Because it's going to make them look childish, and they know it. Because they know deep inside it is childish. How they feel is really childish. Because if they didn't really know, they would say it out loud. They would complain. But inside themselves, they know they're being childish. That's why they won't voice it. That's why they can't say it that way. It's easier to just say, something's up with Aries. Yeah, you know what? Aries is doing something. Aries is up to something. Aries is doing something illegal. I know it. Aries hasn't left their house in 3 days. Oh my gosh. Aries is not telling us their plans. What are they planning? I bet you they're on some wanted list somewhere. Speculation. That's what it is. Speculation. This person's out there speculating because that's all they can do. But they're speculating in a very negative way, because they're trying to throw some bait out there to see who's going to join them. And it's this group, these kind of people, they always have to do that. They really do. They do. They have to do that. They have to throw that bait out there because they can't stand alone because they're weak. They need other people to join them because they're weak. They're nothing like you, and they know it. Because if they were more like you, they wouldn't feel this way, for one. And two, they'd be fine with standing alone. They wouldn't even have to be saying anything. They would just have their feelings about something and be like, okay, only time will prove if I'm right. They would have that more of that attitude. But they don't. No. No, not this person. And the reason, I'm going to tell you something. They receive a lot of disrespect. I'm going to tell you, okay? They receive a lot of disrespect. A lot of people are like, oh, you again. And then they wonder why. No, in their mind, it can't have nothing to do with their behavior. No. It can have nothing to do with their attitude. No. It's got to be something else. They're frustrated. They're angry. They don't know how they're not getting the reaction that they want. And they keep seeing you getting the reaction that they want to get. You're getting the reaction that they really want in their life from the people around you two. And, of course, they're going to attack you. Understanding people around you will make you stronger. Especially you youngins, the more you start understanding human nature and understanding what's behind it and what's causing it, and the mental aspects of it all, the more you understand it, the more stronger you can be, the more confident you can be in your stance, When you're young, you just know that people are acting crazy around you, or you just know that people are up to something, or people are trying to, come up against you, but without really understanding the depth of it. Once you get older, much older, like me, I'm just, much older, much older, in life, right? You start understanding what's behind it. Because let me tell you, every reaction that a person has, there is an emotion that's behind it. There's a need, there's a want, there's a yearning behind that reaction, the way that somebody acts. And the thing is that because you don't have that, you see, we automatically, we understand this, we understand this rule, this law. We understand that, when a person reacts a certain kind of way, that there's a reason behind it. There's an emotion behind it. We understand these concepts. See, the thing about you is nobody can understand you. You don't have that kind of reaction. You don't have that kind of yearning. People are instinctively seeing this in you. They're picking up on it. Even if they don't bring it to the forefront of their brain, and acknowledge it instinctively, unconsciously, they're picking up on it. They're like, what's up with Aries? That's suspicious. Aries is not yearning for anything. Aries is not wanting for anything. There's no driven emotion behind Aries' actions. What is Aries up to? That's abnormal. And this is what makes you different. This is what makes you stand out. This is what makes people respect you the way that they respect you. This is why people look at you or look toward you or want to hear your opinion. This is why they do the things that they do. You might wonder, why do people come and tell me their problems? Why do people want to tell me the most embarrassing, inappropriate things, the craziest stories? Why do people want to tell me all these things? I don't want to hear it. That's why. If you've been wondering, that's why. I'm hearing you're a beacon. You're a firefly. You don't even realize it. You're sending out those little light flashes of SOSs, and not that you need help, no, but I know I'm saying the wrong word. It's not SOSs. You're sending out this Morse code. Without realizing it. You're not really knowing that you're doing it. I know, but you are. It's in your actions. You're sending out a code without saying anything. Your silence is your code. And this is where people are like, oh, that's the one I need to go talk to. That's the one that's going to give me the answers I need. That's the dictionary that walks among us. That's the person that has the knowledge I need. And they instinctively see it. They instinctively know it when they see you. Why? Why? Why are you like this? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. It's because you've been chosen for this. This is your path. This is the path. This is why you were chosen. You're chosen for this. You're chosen to guide people. You're chosen to understand people. You're chosen to, even if you don't even understand that you're understanding things. Even if you don't understand that you're a deep thinker, because, you've been this way your whole life. You might not even realize it yourself. What a deep thinker you are. You know, it takes a high level of self awareness to, like, ooh, I'm this way, I'm that way. I mean, there's things that we could recognize in ourselves, like, I was watching a video just recently about ADHD, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I do. Oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, that's me. I have ADHD. I wouldn't have known, I wouldn't have had that awareness, that I might possibly. I'm pretty convinced that I do have some form of ADHD, if I hadn't seen those signs and understood, because I've always been the way I am my whole life. Sometimes I have a very hard time explaining myself, getting things put out in a certain way that people can understand me. Sometimes I jump around a lot. I'll be talking about one thing. My daughter, she gets angry with me all the time. She's just like, I'll just randomly throw something at her, and she's just like, that's so random, Mom. Like, we're talking about this, and then what do crickets have to do with this? She just asked me out loud. Just like something pops in my head, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, the thing about it is all of us, we can't be 100% self-aware. I'm still learning about things about myself, and I'm an older woman, and I'm sure I'll be in my 80s and still finding out things and discovering things about myself. The thing is, Spirit wants me to let you know you've been chosen, and you're going to receive a lot of hate for it. People don't know why. They can feel it, but they know it. You've been chosen. You've been chosen to be a comfort to the people around you. You've been chosen to be the voice of reason around you. You see? You've been chosen to be the calm one when everybody else is panicking. Have you ever seen ants? Like, I have a real bad ant problem now. Anyways, I'll go and mess up their hill, right? The ant hill. I'll go mess it up, and all of them are like running around, and then I'll keep poking at it and bothering it, and then finally the queen, she comes out, and she's like really slow. She walks out really slowly with purpose, right? And the other ones are just running around frantic, and you see what I'm saying? Totally different energy. Have you ever seen the queen, the way she comes out? She's the one that always has the wings, and she's usually much larger than the other ones. And when she walks, she doesn't run around panicking like the other ones. She walks much, much slower, even though she's much larger. She walks much slower, more in a direct line. She doesn't, if you watch the way she moves, she's not like the other ones. The other ones, you'll keep an eye on one of them, and you'll see them doing this. The queen will walk in a direct line, right? Very different from the people around them, okay? And that's you. You're the ant. You're the queen ant. You see? This is what makes you so different, makes you stand out. But you've been chosen for this. This is your purpose in life, to be that word of reason for people, to calm people around without saying a word. I guarantee you those ants were calm. They were slowly calming down. They're like, okay, the queen's here. She's gonna handle the situation. Male or female, guys, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? You could be male and you can still be the queen ant, okay? Let me just clarify that. But the point is that just the presence alone makes a difference. Your presence, you are just who you are. You really don't have to do anything. And the more longer you go to this and the more your energy is shifting in this direction, the more you're going to have more people with this dark energy that's going to like tap into that dark side, and they're going to have this darkness in their heart towards you. The more these people are going to come up against you and try to form armies against you. So be ready. Be ready. Don't be shocked to what depths of nastiness that these people will do. Don't let them hurt your feelings with the nasty things that they say. Just understand that they are small-minded. And that's what it is. They're small-minded. They don't have self-awareness. Just understand that, they can't really understand. They can't verbalize why they feel the way they do. So if they can't verbalize why they feel the way they do, they can't overcome it. They can't even reason with themselves. So they really technically cannot help themselves. And the more you understand that, the better off you're going to feel about these people. The more better you're going to feel about yourself and your purpose in life and why these people are the way they are. So don't let them hurt your feelings. Don't let them make you feel like an outcast. You are the same like everybody else, right? But you're just built different. A little different. And there's nothing wrong with you. And this is what's going on, guys. Oh, this is the shocking truth as to why your enemies are trying to build an army against you, unfortunately. All right, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and get you your angel number out, or your angel message out for you. I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you some insight to what is going on. You might go through little periods of feeling lonely or feeling why your life is different than other people. Things like that. Spirit, give us an angel number here for Aries, please and thank you. Specifically this Aries that we're talking about. There it is. Wait. And it fell down. Okay. What was it? 16. It says, you have an inquisitive mind. Didn't I just say that? It says that allows you to uncover important truths. A deep thinker. Didn't I just say that? You have a special ability to read into other people's feelings. Oh, an empath. Didn't I just say that? It says a wisdom seeker. That's part of being a deep thinker. And your angels ask to share your knowledge for the benefits of others. So Spirit is saying, yes, when people are coming to you asking you for your advice, what's your take on things, that is your role that you were born to play in. Okay? There are people that go to college, okay? They spend years and years and years and years studying psychology. And it's true. They spend years and years studying psychology, memorizing things, and putting all their time, money, energy into it, and they still are not a good counselor. They're still not a good therapist. But you come along and you got it for free because of who you are, who you're born to be. You don't need years and years of college. You don't need a degree. You don't need any of that stuff. You just are who you are. That's the difference between you and everybody else. Okay, Aries. Thank you for joining me. I hope this helps you out, guys. Let me know in the comments what your personal experiences are with this. Okay, this is why people are afraid of you, and that's what really is. Okay, so when you hear that so and so is saying this or that about you, just understand that they're afraid of you. They're afraid of your power. They're afraid of what you're capable of. They're afraid of you. Their actions might say something else, but the bottom line is they're afraid of you. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Hope this helps. Catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.